Alright, and we are back on the Rebel 500 here. Just got done doing some test rides, having a blast. Shout out to Indian Motorcycle of Auburn. Really cool dudes. Spike was awesome. Letting me do some test riding, checking out their Indian models. Yeah, just got done checking out the Indian Scout Rogue. Holy crap, what a sweet bike. It is just such a fun motorcycle to ride. Had a really good experience with it. I had a chance to let it get up and go. Had a chance to take it on the twisties and just enjoy it overall. And man, what a fun motorcycle. Holy crap. Dude, putting a smile on my face. Anytime you're on a bike and it puts a smile on your face, I think it's a good experience. It definitely could be a fun motorcycle. So yeah, kind of first thoughts about the Indian Scout Rogue. Man, the center of gravity is just so low. It's so planted. I feel like I mentioned in the video, the weight is so far forward and so low. It's such a different feeling than the Rebel here. The Rebel, I feel like just sits so high up. And even with the Rebel 1100, I felt like the same thing. And, you know, there's some pros and cons, but what a different feeling for sure. The bars felt really nice. I was a little bit tired after the end of it. Would take some getting used to. It was a little bit of a farther reach than I was hoping it to be, but it's not the end of the world. I like the higher up bars, but definitely probably would have enjoyed them if it had just been maybe like an inch closer. Power obviously felt great. I mean, like I said, you know, I was going 55, 60 miles an hour, and at the very low end, you know, the low half of third gear, and I felt like the bike hadn't even woken up yet at that point. You know, I mean, obviously accelerating, I had a chance to wake it up a little bit, not trying to go too crazy with the bike not being past its braking period or anything like that, but definitely if I was just cruising at, you know, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour, I felt like there's just unlimited power beyond that. You know, whether I just opened it up, dropped a gear, really wanted to just get going. I mean, that bike just was so crazy. It's 100 horsepower. Rebel 500, I believe, is 45 horsepower. So it's more than double, which is crazy to think of. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I don't really have too much to complain about that bike. I think the forward controls would take some getting used to, but I think they're pretty comfortable. I feel like I could flick it around almost as easily as the Rebel. I feel like the Rebel 500 is maybe just a little bit more maneuverable, but I think that kind of goes back to the fact that this bike is a little bit, the center of gravity is a little bit higher up, and kind of just where you sit, I feel like you sit a little bit more forward. Whereas on the Indian Scout Rogue, it really just felt like I was just chilling. This bike just, I feel like it's really, you know, it feels like a bulldog is kind of what comes to mind, right? Now, kind of how I was feeling, it makes a lot of sense when I'm looking at it. You are sitting so far back, you're basically sitting on that rear tire. And so it's just everything is in front of you, all the weight. I was chilling all the way in the back. I was basically sitting on the rear tire and had this giant beast of a motorcycle in front of me. Even though it's not a huge bike, you know? It's so crazy how much different that motorcycle is from the Rebel 500. I'll probably do some kind of comparison between the Rebel 1100 and the Indian Scout Rogue. That's not going to be this video. I'm just going to kind of finish my final thoughts here. Keep an eye out for that video in the future. Both motorcycles for sure putting big smiles on my face, and I feel like I have a ton of potential and would be a lot of fun. No complaints at all with the Scout Rogue. Like I said, I was actually pretty surprised at how smooth the power delivery was. I did not expect it to be I didn't really know what I expected it to be. I mean, I just expected it to be less smooth than that, you know, because there's more power, and so you get on it and the bike kind of jerks around and everything. But no, as you twisted the throttle, it just more of the power jumped on, and so you got going, and then it just all kind of flooded in, and so it really wasn't like a ton of power, a ton of torque right at the beginning, to where, you know, when I'm doing those slower speed maneuvers, I'm, you know, really kind of having to watch and utilize the clutch a lot more and jerk the bike around, all that kind of stuff. It was cool to be able to ride something that I can actually utilize first gear in. The Rebel, you only get a teeny bit. I mean, once you hit 10 miles an hour, you're pretty much done with first gear. And so the Scout, I mean, I think I was probably, before I even had to shift on that first pole, coming out of the dealership, I think I didn't have to shift it till I was like at 45 miles an hour or something like that, which this thing would be redlining and screaming and all kinds of stuff if I was trying to go 45 miles an hour. Can't make it. So yeah, that was interesting. That was definitely a big difference and something I liked about it. I liked the stance. I liked the center of gravity feeling. The bike is not heavy at all. Yeah, overall, first impressions, really sweet. I mean, the Indian Scout Rogue is an awesome motorcycle, and I already knew I was gonna like the aesthetics. So yeah, piling on the fact that it's a lot of fun to ride. It's got, in my opinion, felt like it pretty much had unlimited power, and it looks awesome. All that kind of good stuff makes it a really good motorcycle. It was smooth. It moved around a lot. Felt like there was just unlimited power. You know, if I needed to do some longer highway rides, I could kind of just cruise in like 4th or 5th gear and just kind of roll, or, you know, not really be ringing it out or anything like that. Overall, I think it was a really sweet motorcycle. Had a ton of fun test riding that Indian Scout Rogue. I feel like I just scratched the surface. I really didn't have the opportunity to really open it up crazy. Thanks for just pulling right in front of me, bud. The Indian Scout just felt like a larger, meaner motorcycle. So if anything, maybe the Rebel 1100, you could move it around a little bit more, but then you lose the power a little bit. And again, I don't think I don't think those two test rides is really gonna show that a ton, because both motorcycles I felt like were pretty equal in 1st, 2nd, 3rd gear, kind of 0 to 70, kind of that range. So maybe I would really see more of a difference on the higher end if I was really trying to get up and go. The Rebel 1100 is more affordable. It's definitely better priced. You know, it's $6,000 less. That's a huge factor. Additionally, it also has some more of the technology that the Indian Scouts might be lacking, such as cruise control and some of the rider modes and different things like that. So it's kind of hard. It's a little bit difficult because yes, you're getting a little bit more power out of the Indian Scouts, and man, do they look nice. I would say, as cool as the Rebel 1100 does look, I would say that the Indian Scouts, in my opinion, do look a little bit better. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna do a full in-depth comparison video later down the road. This video is more just kind of trying to share my final thoughts. So I guess the final question of the vlog is, would I get an Indian Scout? And I definitely think I would. I think I would have a ton of fun on that motorcycle. It has plenty of power. It felt like a very comfortable bike that I could really get used to. And I honestly think I would really enjoy it. So I don't know if I'll trade in the Rebel 500 for that one day or not. I guess we'll see. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of the Indian Scout, the Scout Rogue, the Scout Bobber. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've gone from a Rebel to a Scout before, and if you've enjoyed it. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut things off there. I'm leaving the dealership today with a huge smile on my face. Definitely a fantastic experience, and I really enjoyed that Indian Scout. So thank you all for stopping on by. If you like motorcycle content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I've got tons of motorcycle content both on the channel and headed your way, so smash the notification bell for future uploads and or live streams. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on the Indian Scout, if you think it'd be a cool bike to add to the channel, and if you want to see test ride videos in the future like this. I kind of just try to talk about how I'm feeling and what the bike is speaking to me, more than a very technical, oh, this has this much horsepower and lane angle is this many inches and all that kind of stuff. And this is the Evergreen Motovlog channel, reminding y'all to ride safe out there, mind your surroundings, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace!